Hey guys, it's Carmel Brown, licensed clinical professional counselor, owner of Carmel D. Brown Counseling, Consulting, and Coaching Services, and co-owner of Club Exhilaration Wellness Center in Belleville, Illinois. Also, published author of 2 amazing books available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. Your Exhilarating Life, Creating Family and Career Prosperity. That means creating success with your family and your career. And then also Nurture Your Body, Overcoming and Preventing Obesity. Both available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. Today I want to talk to you about self-care. Self-care is not selfish. It is a very simple concept, but often overlooked. What is self-care? It is a deliberate personal decision to gift yourself with people, places, things, events, and opportunities to recharge your personal batteries and to promote a sense of well-being in body, mind, and spirit. Taking care of yourself does not necessarily mean me first, but it does mean me too. You have to make yourself a priority if you're going to be effective and productive. Especially if you have a family or you have a career in which you are caring for other people. Many of us spend a lot of time trying to care for other people, trying to make other people happy, trying to cater to other people. And you might find that you spend a lot of time trying to make other people happy and they simply aren't happy. And guess what? Most of you aren't happy either because the people you're trying to make happy aren't happy. So if you take care of yourself, whether other people are happy or not with what you offer them, how you cater to them, at least you'll be happy if you're taking care of yourself. On page 39 of my book, Your Exhilarating Life, I simply state, there are some people that will never be happy with you, no matter how many yeses you give. That means they're not going to be happy no matter how much you do for them. Unfortunately, sometimes the people that you do the most for, the people you risk the most for, the people you have put yourself on the line the most for, are the people that are less grateful for what you have offered them. Unfortunately, not always, but very often. I also say on page 39 that some people will never stop loving you or supporting you no matter how many no's you give. So that means the right people in your life will still love you and support you and not try to hold you emotionally hostage or make you pay or suffer because you decide to put yourself first and you're not saying yes to their requests, to their care, or whatever catering to them they are desiring. Self-care is so important, guys, because we live in a very stressful society. Excessive stress can put you at risk for heart problems. It can put you at risk for obesity. It can put you at risk for diabetes and other stress-related health conditions. Not to mention, excessive stress can trigger mental illness. So for someone who may have already been prone to or genetically predispositioned to a mental health condition, being under an excessive amount of stress can trigger those symptoms and exacerbate symptoms. Self-care keeps us all happy and healthy. Self-care can help sharpen and improve mental and physical health, help manage stress, and improve your overall sense of well-being. Please do not confuse self-care with self-indulgence or selfishness. Self-indulgence or selfishness typically involves some temporary, quick fix that isn't sustainable long-term. For example, retail therapy. We all like retail therapy, right? I know I do. But retail therapy long-term doesn't really help. It may help in the moment, but overall, it doesn't necessarily improve your ability to cope with stress or conflict. Not to mention, some of the self-indulgent behaviors that we may engage in or selfishness that we may engage in order to help feel better may impact other people in a negative manner. If you're overspending and it has a negative impact on your family's finances, then it's certainly going to have a negative impact on someone other than yourself. So retail therapy sometimes may be helpful and not harmful, but you have to evaluate when that is the case. Because you want to think about other people while you're caring for yourself. Once again, it's not about only me or me first, it's me too. So you're not going to disregard the needs of other people. You're just going to include the needs of yourself. So like I said, taking care of yourself or self-care can improve your mental and physical health, but it also improves your relationships. I'm going to give you a few ways that you can engage in self-care. Now, what works for one person may not necessarily work for someone else. For example, music. That's one of my absolute favorites. I can listen to music and get in a complete zone and change my entire mood. For some people, music may not necessarily have the same impact. You have to know which coping skills and which areas of self-care are beneficial and effective for you. Another thing that I want to recommend in regards to self-care, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed or fatigued, is to unplug. Being connected to the internet is something that has proven to be harmful in many cases. In fact, research is showing some connection to mental health problems, especially anxiety. We live in an age where everyone has their phones in their hands or close by at any given point in time. People's faces are always glued to their phones. Sometimes you have to turn the phone off and schedule yourself to have it off and not have any connection to your phone for a period of time every day. I strongly encourage you to do this for your young ones, because if they're going to bed with their phones at nighttime and they have it all day, no matter how well you're parenting, sometimes the outside world or outside influences can certainly perpetuate anxiety and depression. Kids are already typically dealing with self-esteem and self-identity issues. So it's very important that you pay attention to whether or not there's any changes in their behavior, or if they start to talk or think in a way that they didn't ordinarily, or if they seem like their mood is low or they're on edge. You may have to intervene and encourage that unplugging. And adults, it's a good idea for you to do it sometimes as well. Yeah, don't feel obligated to be on social media, especially if you're feeling anxious or depressed. I work with a lot of people in therapy that struggle with questioning themselves and whether or not they're successful enough, whether or not they're doing enough, feeling inadequate, feeling unproductive, and having low self-esteem, just overall having a negative mindset about themselves and their lives because they're seeing other people's lives and what they're doing on social media. And I strongly encourage you to disregard what you see on social media. Yoga is really good to help with anxiety and to reduce stress. It's good for the mind and the body. I strongly encourage that if you haven't tried it. Cuddling. Cuddling is a stress reliever. How many of you knew that? Physical contact releases a hormone called oxytocin in the brain. Oxytocin is a hormone that promotes happiness. So cuddle away. Get with your significant other, your kiddos, your dog, or whatever, whoever you love, your parents, and cuddle. You can also cuddle yourself. Sometimes you don't have anyone else, and you might find that at night you want to cuddle, and you can cuddle yourself, and sometimes that's helpful. Or get a body pillow if you need to. That also helps. Human contact is better, but if you have to improvise, that's okay. Massages. I don't get a massage often enough. I've had them a few times, and they were great. They're good for relaxing the body and the mind, and they relieve stress. In addition, having a massage can also improve your quality of sleep. Get outside. Research shows that looking at pictures of nature can spark positive activity in the brain. So get outside, go for a walk, sit in nature, whatever you want to do, whether you're running, walking, sitting, just get outside if you can. Another one is exercise. We all know that I'm going to say exercise because you guys know I love exercise. And we won't get into that because I could go on and on. But here's the thing. Exercise releases endorphins in the brain that promote happiness and a positive mood. And it's good for the body and the mind. A lot of people exercise for weight loss or to look a certain way, but it's just as good for your mental health as it is for your physical health. And guess what? If you go outside and exercise, you have a double whammy. So go outside, hit the pavement, running. I was gonna say that next. As far as exercise goes, running is a proven exercise for boosting your mood. There's this thing called runner's high, where those feel-good chemicals are released in the brain. So if you're outside, you're exercising and you're running, woohoo, get ready to feel good. So do that. Reading a good book. Reading a good book can be a good grounding exercise. When you're reading, it's very difficult to think about something else. So if you have been having anxiety-provoking thoughts or you've been thinking about something that's promoting stress and you're reading a good book, you're gonna forget about those things while you're reading your book. So I encourage you to become a bookworm. Books are cool. Hint. I love books. I love to read them. I love to write them. Anyway, of course, I'm going to say nutrition. Nutrition is a good way to care for self. You know, I always say that eating well is a form of self-respect. Foods like berries and peppers and different fruits and vegetables, green leafy vegetables, all of those foods, fish and healthy fats, they boost your mood and improve brain health. So, where does happiness occur? In the brain. So make sure that your nutrition is up to par to promote an elevated mood. I could go on and on about self-care strategies, but I'm going to give you one more, and that's meditation. Meditation is a proven approach to reducing stress, to reducing anxiety and depression, and to improve your overall sense of well-being. Guys, we have to stop glamorizing being overworked, overstressed, fatigued, and burnout. We live in a society where that's like a badge of honor, how much you work and how burnt out you are and how fatigued you are. I even hear some parents saying, oh, my kid's in 20 different activities. Well, we gotta leave swimming lessons and go to soccer, and we gotta leave soccer and we got piano lessons, and my husband's over here doing this activity, I'm over here. For parents, it's like a badge of honor that as overextended as I am, that means I'm the best parent. There's no research that shows that the more activities you have your kids in, and the more overstressed you are regarding activities, that you're a better parent. Now, my kids were in just about everything as they were growing up. Son was in basketball, football, baseball, drum lessons, swim lessons, and so on and so forth. Soccer when he was younger. My daughter, same thing. She was in basketball and dance classes and gymnastics and swim lessons and piano lessons. But I spaced them out and I didn't allow them to have too many things going on at once. And they still were able to experience all those things because I understood that those things had nothing to do with their future or their mental health or emotional well-being. So making sure that your kids get to experience those things, but not making it to where they end up resenting those things or they're burnt out or they don't get to just be a kid and play. So just make sure you have balance with that. Same thing with work and career. There's so many people that think that, oh my gosh, I worked 85 hours a week and this, that, and the other, and I only get about 2 or 3 hours of sleep at night. And when you have a demanding career or you own your own business or whatever, there's gonna be days like that. Believe me, I've had plenty of 15-hour days, but I would never allow myself to do that more than 2 or 3 days out of the week. But now I may have an occasional 10 to 12-hour day, but it's not very often at all. And honestly, I really only work 4 days a week. So I refuse to work 7 days a week. And I do have paperwork and things like that when I'm off. And really, I work 3.5 days a week. And 3 of those days are really heavy days. But then I have a day off during the week, and then I have a half a day. And then I'm off on the weekends. I don't really work on the weekends. I may do a fitness class on Saturday mornings, but that's about it. So you have to make sure you have balance. Work hard, but don't overwork yourself. I want you to change your B's on your badge. I want you to change it from burnout to balance. The goal is to be healthy and happy. Hey guys, that's all I got. I'm Carmel Brown, and I'll see you soon.